Are you?
Wow. 9 years ago, yesterday, you guys went on your very first date. What were you, 15, 16, sophomore, junior in high school? But you knew about Cole a few years earlier. And not because you guys live in the same small town, but because Cole was running for student council, right? And so to do so, Cole had to come up with a poster, right? And on that poster, and it was plastered on the cafeteria walls, and Hannah just looked at those posters, and I don't know exactly what was on there, but I'm envisioning a picture of a strawberry with a checkbox next to it, and maybe a blueberry with a checkbox next to it, right? And maybe a blackberry, I don't know, with a checkbox, and then on the bottom there was a coalberry with a checkbox. And across the top of it said, "Choose the right berry." And you remember looking at that poster and thinking, how cool it would be to have a last name of Berry and to be able to make fun posters just like that. And I can imagine you honestly thinking about that over and over in your head as a little girl, middle school girl. But now you later find out that it was Cole's mom who made the sign, and all Cole had to do was show up. It's kind of Cole's mode, you know. That's kind of how he operates. You know? And Christy, I bet that you didn't realize that you were fishing for a future wife.
Yeah.
But Hannah, you were pretty intimidated by Cole. I mean, after all, he was a dual sport athlete, playing basketball and baseball, and you had to sit next to him in Spanish 1. your freshman year of school. Now, you're afraid to talking to him because you're just afraid he's going to misconjugate, and, which sounds like something you don't want to do in public anyway. But you were afraid that you were going to do that in front, and how embarrassing that would be in front of an older boy. But Cole, you kept persevering and initiating those conversations, didn't you? And then in Spanish too, you got to sit even closer, and that's when things really started to go down. Some good old awkward teenage tensions going on, right? Cole, you were trying to figure out if Hannah had a boyfriend, and word got to Hannah that this was true, and Hannah's reply was, "I'm not interested." And I can totally hear you say that.
With an eye roll, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Then in January, your sophomore year, your friend Kaylee has a slumber party, and everybody's texting their boyfriends but Hannah. And your friend says, "Hannah, you need a boyfriend." She says, "You know Colberry? I'm giving Colberry your number." And the following day, Cole sends you a text message, and then you guys are on a mad text messaging spree for 3 weeks. Now, you weren't in Spanish class anymore, and anytime you saw him in the hallways, you ran the other way, right? And or you would be totally interested in what some of your friends were saying, the conversation going on, just so you didn't have to talk to Cole when you were alive.
Absolutely.
Well, Cole, you persevered, and somehow you got Hannah to come to one of your basketball games, which was actually on February 3rd. Hannah came with a friend, and every time that you would run down the court, you would look up at her and wink. Hannah told me you loved a good Cole out. And you enjoy hearing stories about each basketball practice when Cole comes home from school. You love hearing the cussing that comes from the Xbox room, but I think that's probably from some of your friends because you don't cuss, do you? You love that Cole can bring you your favorite coffee from Starbucks, regardless of which season it is. And there's 4 seasons, and Hannah has a favorite for all 4 seasons, and Cole knows which one's it. Told me that you love making a home. You love to go to Deming Park so you can read a book and Cole can fish. And you also said that you love to hear stories of every fishing pole that Cole owns. Let me go along with that. Cole, one of your greatest attributes, I think, that you bring into this relationship is your determination, your perseverance to pursue and you do the things that you want to do, and you're determined to be the person that you need to be. And you see it in the way that you interacted with Hannah throughout the early moments. And you see it in projects like the cool fire pit that you built in your backyard. Cole, I've been in the same house for 10 years. I've always wanted a fire pit. I don't have a fire pit yet. Well, let's go back to when you were 8 years old. Fishing with your Grandpa Rex at a small farm on a pond, at a small farm pond. It was a pretty hot day. Grandpa Rex got you set up on one side of the pond, right? And he walked over to the other side. And I don't know if that's because your casting skills weren't quite there yet. He wanted to stay safe, or maybe he thought there was better fishing over on the other side. Because sometimes grandpas do that kind of thing. But nonetheless, Grandpa Rex went clear over to the other side. And so you get your bait on your hook, and you start casting that thing out there. And eventually, you get a bite. And you think, I got a fish on here. And so you start feeling it's like, oh my gosh, this is huge. I need help. And so you have, Grandpa Rex, I need help. This is a big fish. And Grandpa Rex, he's like, I don't know. I bet you're probably stuck on something, Cole. And so he didn't really come over quickly. And eventually he did start to make his way over. And once he got a hold of that fishing rod, he realized that the struggle was real. Between the two of you, you guys managed to pull in a 24.5-pound channel catfish. Now, there's proof. The farm that owned the place, he saw the struggle, and he came on by. And now, part of the story, he had lost his arm in a combat accident or something. But when he told you how big the fish, he said the fish is this big. I'm kidding. But there is a picture of you and Grandpa Rex that shows how sweaty and exhausting that experience was. You might say that your determination has led to landing not the biggest catch, but the greatest catch of your lifetime. Now, those are early stories and just the beginnings of your relationship. Since then, you guys have spent the last 9 years making and serving pizzas together, finishing high school, going to different colleges, being close to each other, being far from each other, becoming teachers at the same school, becoming young, productive adults, contributing to your community, and becoming great role models for the high school kids to look up to. You will continue to make stories that will fill multiple books. Some will be romance novels, some will be comedies, probably more romance comedies than anything. But the point is, you guys continue to grow into each other, becoming one flesh. As if it's a natural progression to become one flesh. And perhaps it really is as God intended, as He made you, male and female. In God's image, He made you both. And probably my favorite verse regarding marriage is found first in the Old Testament, but it's repeated multiple times in the New Testament, in the Gospels, and also in the letters to the churches. And we read in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and his mom, and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh." This verse is right after God formed the woman out of the rib of man. Now that's a whole different message, but it is important because God brings this to us right out the gate, right after the creation story. We are made in the image of God, male and female. He has made them. And I believe that because we are made in His image, we have an imprint of how things should be. And one of those imprints is marriage. There's just something about it that we are innately drawn to do. Would you guys join with me in a word of prayer? Father God, we all have fond memories of Hannah and Cole, watching them grow up individually, and over time, watching them join together as a couple. We believe in them, and we are here to support them, not only today, but we are witnesses to this solemnization. And in a way, we are here today saying we support them as husband and wife. And like old Grandpa Rex, as is our time on earth, we will be there to support them in all their experiences, and especially when things get difficult. God, we know that things change in life. Sometimes the water heater, the air conditioner will go out just when it doesn't look like we can afford a new one. Jobs might be lost, and maybe even careers will change. Tensions will arise and conflict will happen. It's not that we talk about them because we want them to happen, but as we are created in the image of God, we are also born in the image of Adam, which means we are simple people. It means that we are human, and just as we bring our good things into the marriage, we also bring some baggage too. The point is that when we are at odds with each other, may we be reminded of the goodness of the other person and offer grace and mercy as you offer to us in our relationship with you. And when we cannot find solace and peace in our spouse, may we find it in you and be patient and trusting that you will bring your healing touch when it is needed. And Father, as we continue with the vows and exchange of rings and the pronouncement of husband and wife, please pour out your blessing on this wonderful couple and all that they do. Pour out your blessing on Hannah's family as they welcome another son to the mix, and pour out your blessings on Cole's family as they welcome the daughter that they never had. We know both are and will be received so well. Thank you, Father, for all that you do in our lives. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hannah and Cole, is it your intention today to become husband and wife? We're so excited. Do you, Cole, take Hannah to be your wife, to cherish in friendship and love today, tomorrow, and for as long as the two of you live? to trust and honor her, to love her faithfully through the best and through the worst, whatever may come, and if you should ever doubt, to remember your love for each other and the reason why you came together with her this day. If so, say I do. Hannah, do you, Hannah, take Cole to be your husband, to cherish in friendship and love today, tomorrow, and for as long as the two live, to trust and honor him, to love him faithfully through the best times and through the worst times, whatever may come, and if you should ever doubt, to remember your love for each other and the reason why you came together with him this day. If so, say amen.
I
It is believed that the exchange of rings goes back to around 3000 BC. The Egyptians captured the idea from many cultures that a never-ending circle was the symbol for eternity. And so placing a ring on your spouse's finger often serves as a physical reminder of the commitment we made to each other was meant to be a forever experience. Repeat after me. I, Cole, give to you, Hannah, this ring
I, Cole, give you hand this ring
as a symbol of my commitment
as a symbol of my commitment
to love, honor, and respect you
to love, honor, and respect you
till death do us part.
till death do us part.
I, Hannah, give to you, Cole, this ring
Hannah, give you Cole this ring
as a symbol of my commitment
as a symbol of my commitment
to love, honor, and respect you
to love, honor, and respect you
till death do us part.
to death do us part.
Well, now, in front of God and your closest friends and family, and by the authority given me by the state of Indiana, I pronounce you husband and wife. You may share your first married kiss. Okay, we're going to take just a few minutes to fill out the marriage license, and we'll be right back. So hang tight. Finally, stand with me now. Everybody stand. It is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you for the very first time as husband and wife, Cole and Hannah Berry. folks, that concludes the ceremony. On behalf of Hannah and Cole, we want to thank you for being here, for helping to make this day extra special. All right, let's celebrate. Before we do that, we have one more announcement. Go ahead and open your calendars on your cell phones or whatever, and go to July 24th, and just go ahead and make it an all-day thing. Hit the add button. Put down Hannah and Cole church wedding. Details to come. Anticipated will be at Hillside United Methodist Church in Princeton, and I believe the reception will be at Toilet Event Center. There will be free beer. The now married couple extended the invitation to you, and would love to see you there too. Hey, let's celebrate.